Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, September 6th. Thank you so much for joining in to our weekly healthcare reform webinars. My name is Deb Wilkinson. I'm the Vice President of the Health Plan Options Department here at URL. That means my duties include overseeing the traditional group markets, the self-funded, level-funded, reference-based pricing programs, the ancillary, your supplemental employer-paid or voluntary programs, and as I always regretfully say, what is left of the individual products within the state of Pennsylvania. During these webinars, I touch on legislative updates that have an impact on either individual health, group health, sometimes Medicare, and then I talk about carrier updates. I do, with the legislation, I look on a national level, but also break it down to our Commonwealth and what that means for, our Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We're really excited today, before we get into our agenda, to have two guest speakers with us. John Fissner is the founder and CEO of ABLE-Pay, and Ryan Weirling is the Senior VP of Sales and Marketing. They are both with us, as I mentioned a few weeks, weekly. They're going to be talking about the ABLE-Pay program. Once they do their presentation, if you have questions, please type them in. They're kind enough to stay with us through the program. They have about 10 minutes that they're going to introduce you to the product. But again, I encourage questions, and if you have interest in learning more, please reach out to me either by phone or email, and I will get you in touch with these fine gentlemen. So just with a show of hands, if you can see my screen and hear me okay, if you can put up your electronic hand icon, which is to the right of your screen in the control panel. I don't see any hands. I see hands now. Excellent. Thanks, folks. All right, so let's get into the agenda. Short-term limited duration medical insurance. As we know, currently with the ACA, we are only allowed 89-day increments for short-term medical insurance. That has now been overturned, and after October 2nd, we will be able to sell what is now being called the short-term limited duration medical insurance for up to 364 days. Rates are supposed to be between 50 and 80% less than current ACA rates. Of course, they're not comparable. The short-term medical does not have they don't have the essential health benefits or the bells and whistles, that most programs do. It doesn't cover pre-existing, but I still think it's a viable and commissionable product for sales after October 2nd, for the right folks. Phil Mishler, who is our great sales rep for National General, will be on our webinar next week to discuss the short-term limited duration medical programs, talk about what they anticipate for rates, and walk you through those programs. So again, if you're in that individual market or you're teeing up, you're turning 65 folks, I think this is a viable option for a good majority of folks. You do have to make sure that you're mindful of the insurance commissioner's disclaimers on these programs. They're going to be on every site for these limited duration policies, but it is definitely something that you should be mindful of. Make sure that you are talking to your clients about what it covers and what it does not, more importantly. Association health plans, of course, in our Commonwealth, the insurance commissioner decided that there's really no bundling, there's no consolidation of the groups for consolidated composite rates. So we're kind of dead in the water here. We're at a standstill with the carriers. They're kind of, anticipating if anything changes that they can pick up where they left off. But as far as association health plans in our Commonwealth, that's not going to happen the way any of us anticipated, but I do think URL can still offer some value to your association. So again, if you are an association or working with an association, some of our programs and our Ben admin systems really do work well with associations, not only onboarding, but upselling specific association programs and just having one central area for all your association members. So give me a call and let me know if you have any interest. 2019 FFM Certification, AHIP and MLMS are the two recommended vendors, well, the only vendors out there. The AHIP does have a cost, MLMS does not. That's what all of us have done in the years past, most of us anyway. That can be found on portal.cms.gov. And remember, Highmark, well, I did put, remember, Highmark requires FFM certification for off-market sales as well. Ethics certification, which was required in years past, is not required this year. So that's a great big woohoo there. Possible ACA repeal in 2019. Vice President Pence is hinting at the possibility, and all I can say is heavy sigh. Here we go again, folks. So we'll see what comes of that. Certainly it breeds instability, which none of us wants, but you know, I guess if the goal is to dismantle the ACA, that's to be expected. If you're a fan of the ACA, then it's certainly not welcome news. Oral arguments began yesterday in the lawsuit filed by the 20 attorneys general and the governors related to the constitutionality of the ACA law. Since the individual mandate was zeroed out, they are challenging the law since, you know, the original lawsuit proved that they were intertwined or not able to be unbundled, that because there was a mandate, then you know, it was constitutional, and now they're saying without the mandate and without a penalty, the whole law falls apart. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. I read this morning that they are promising a quick decision, so we'll see. So now, after my quick speech here, quick talking, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. John Fissner, and he will take over and talk a little bit about Able Pay. As you know, the flyer is in your handout, so make sure you, you know, read that. But take it away, John. Thanks for joining in.
Thanks, Deb. Appreciate you taking the time and introducing us and giving us a few minutes here to take the webinar through our program. Just a quick background on myself. It's John Fissner. I'm the founder and CEO of Able Pay. We've embarked on this journey after a long stint by me as a CFO and Chief Operating Officer of a hospital system. So I grew up on the provider side, and I felt that you know, insurance market needed something more. So members needed something in addition to their insurance. So we took off on Able Pay. Able Pay has been around now for about 2 years from conception. We brought on our first hospital system, St. Luke's Hospital, last July, and then most recently Lehigh Valley Health Network as of July 1st, and Mainline Health Network as well. So we're going to take you through what Able Pay is. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions. You can save those for the end, or you can reach out to Deb or ourselves directly, and we'll walk you through what Able Pay is and how it can help both the brokers and their clients. So what is Able Pay Health? It's a no-cost employee benefit that provides discounts and flexible payment terms for deductibles and coinsurance. Okay, so we're not discussing copays. If the copay is missed, we certainly can discount the copay as well. But really, our focus is on deductibles and coinsurance. So how does it work? A real-world example. We'll use Deb, since you're on the call, Deb. So Deb goes to St. Luke's Hospital. She walks in. She gives her Capital Blue Cross card and an Able Pay card. Able Pay goes in as secondary. Able Pay is not insurance, but we're utilizing the insurance process to handle these claims. So bill goes out to Capital, $10,000 charge for ER services, gets adjudicated, and there's an allowable between Capital and, say, St. Luke's Hospital for $5,000. If Deb has a $1,000 deductible, $4,000 is paid to St. Luke's, and $1,000 would go directly to Deb. In this case, that's where Able Pay intervenes. So instead of the statement going to Deb directly, that goes to Able Pay. We have a contract with our participating providers to accept an additional discount. So in this example, let's say we pay St. Luke's $750 on that $1,000 deductible, and then Deb has 4 options you can see on the screen here. So If she pays in full, she'll receive a 13% discount with a bank transaction, which is just ACH. That could be a health savings account. That could be just a regular banking checking transaction, or a 10% discount with credit or debit. The difference is just the 3% fee for processing. On every single claim, which we'll show you in a bit, you can change the method and term that you would like to pay for this bill, obviously, because everyone's individual situation changes from a month-to-month basis. So with 3 pays, it'd be a 10% discount bank, 7% credit debit. 6 is 8 bank, 5% credit debit. So there's no interest associated with Able Pay. The furthest transaction time we go out is 12 months. 12 months would be no interest but no discount. So think of Able Pay as really 4 pillars: discounts, flexible payment terms, advocacy, which we'll discuss in a second, and convenience. On the advocacy side, we're helping our members with a lot of these issues surrounding bills. Obviously, everyone that's on this call knows the problems associated with medical billing, and we're fielding a lot of those calls. So a lot of the HR dealings with these issues can be passed on to Able Pay, and essentially we're serving as the back-end customer service for the providers as well. Give you a few examples, some major ones. We had an individual with an out-of-network claim at Jefferson and Philly, 50-50 co-insurance, so the $165,000 charge reduced to $150,000. $75,000 was our member was responsible for on the hospital side, another 10 on the provider side, $85,000 total. We negotiated that down to $32,500 for our members. That's a really unique example, all the way down to just seeing that, you know, it wasn't the patient's responsibility, it was a contractual write-off. We receive all these claims electronically directly from the provider. So we have an interesting position, a unique position to work directly with the providers and resolve these claims. Here's an example on the page here. So you can just see it in black and white. You have a $4,000 patient responsibility on the left. That bill is reduced down, and the member saving 13%, and the deductible is still satisfied. And from a broker's perspective, you know, we can talk about this in more detail, but there is commissions associated both on the claim side and potentially a PEPM percentage if we institute that PEPM. For right now, through 2018, there are no charges associated with Able Pay. We're going to turn you over to Ryan. Ryan's going to take you through the enrollment piece as well as the portal, so you can see an example of what it looks like for our members and your clients.
Well, good morning. So I'm going to take you through what the registration process looks like. So the minimum information we would need from your clients and their employees is name, email, phone number, and date of birth. We're going to send a unique link to each employee. Then they're going to choose whether or not to do this. So there's really no heavy lift on HR other than the census at the beginning. So you're going to put in your date of birth, click confirm, takes less than 5 minutes. You're going to click get started. You're going to put in your member profile. The nice thing about Able Pay is you can offer it to all of your clients. It's for not just those on the health plan, but any that are on a spouse's plan, a different plan, part-time, full-time. In addition, we accept all employees through your clients, so we're not going to turn anyone down. We do a soft credit check that doesn't impact your credit score, but that just helps us assess our risk. Like I said, whether they're a 420 and 800, we're taking all of your clients into Able Pay. We do have individuals learning about Able Pay. There's a possibility we could turn them down, but if you're coming in through one of your clients, they're in automatically. So you click next. So we have a family and friends section. So this is where you're going to put those that you'll be financially responsible for. We joke about the friends part. We haven't found one friend in the Lehigh Valley or down in the mainline area that's willing to pay for another friend's medical bills. But the idea is, as long as you want to be financially responsible, you can tie them to your account. So John has his mother and his grandmother tied to his account. Normally it's going to be spouse and children is what we see. So you'll click next. So for payment options, you're going to choose a default payment term. So 1, 3, 6, or 12. You're not locked into this term. You know, when that example, when Deb went to the hospital, we're going to send her the email. She's going to have 5 days to change this term to whatever meets her current financial needs. I'll show you that on the portal following this. And then here's where you're going to put in a health savings account, a flex spending account, checking or savings, a credit card, debit card. You're going to click next. You're going to sign off on terms of service, privacy, and consent. Submit your application. Get your cards in the mail 3 or 4 days later, using the next time you visit your provider. Once you become a member, this is what the portal looks like. So as you can see, here are 3 examples of bills. So Mary went to the Lehigh Valley Health Network Physician Group. She's not going to get that paper claim, but here's where she's going to see her claim. So everything's electronic, and it really goes back to what John said. It's just a nice convenience piece having all your bills. So you can see her default is a credit card with 1 pay. Her balance is $94.77. She's going to save 10%. She's going to pay Able Pay $85.29. Get to a bigger bill. Spouse John went to Lehigh Valley Hospital, has a $10.20 34-cent bill. 10% discount is $102, would pay $9.18. The flexibility to switch to your health savings account, so they could save $132, pay $8.87, fully meeting that $10.20 deductible. Or you can see you have the flexibility to then switch it between 1, 3, 6, or 12. You can do this on every claim. So if you move to 3, you're going to save $100. You're going to pay $300 over 3. You go to 6, you're going to save $81. Or you go to 12, you're not getting a discount, no interest. You're going to pay $85, and then 11 more months after that. You can see your in-process bills. All your finalized claims are here. You know, payments. You know, why did Able Pay take a payment? You can track that. And then on your default payment term, if at any point you want to switch your default to 6, we have some members are very active with every bill. Some just leave it, change your health savings account, and then add any members.
So I know that's a lot to kind of take in. We realize that there's not anything else in the market in the country like Able Pay, this product that provides discounts, flexibility, advocacy, all on top of your regular insurance. So a couple things to remember: that, you know, this is a commissionable service. This is a no-cost service that we're adding to providers. We have 90% of the market here in the Lehigh Valley. We could take you through the easy process of what transpires when the provider is not a network and we're in a position to negotiate those bills. But the purpose of today is to really get this idea out there to you, have you start thinking about it, and then let's further the discussion and you know, see if we can move this along and provide the service to your clients. Thanks, Deb.
Thank you, guys. All right, let's switch back over here. You know, I really wanted to bring this product to you because I think it's something that all of us can relate to, quite frankly. You know, the biggest part of having higher deductibles is what happens when something catastrophic happens and I have a lot of, you know, money that has to come out of my pocket. You know, maybe that's not convenient for a lot of folks, and they need that flexibility to say, well, you know what, if I can get a discount, I can pay it in one lump sum, or nope, I'm going to need this one spread out for 12 months. And the advocacy alone, just checking those EOBs, I think we all also know the number of billing errors, and to the lay person, that it just doesn't make sense. They don't see these things. But the Able Pay advocacy team, I think, would, you know, certainly earn their weight in gold by checking these you know, these charges and making sure they're valid and making sure they're appropriate. So that's a huge benefit as well. So if you have an interest in talking further with Ryan or John, shoot me an email or give me a call, and I'll have them get in touch with you, and you can learn more about the program. Lehigh Valley and mainline Philly area are probably the best options right now, but we are hoping that they expand nationally and expand throughout the state as well. Just quickly, let's finish up our agenda. Aetna added the 2 new AFA plans in time for 12/1 effective dates. One is a 0 deductible, so you know, that might be attractive to some groups. Highmark Small Group, the MLR rebate checks. They did just put this blast out, and checks will be mailed no later than September 30th to the affected groups. So most of your small groups are going to be getting some rebates. If you have questions on that, let me know. UPMC signs an in-network access deal with Commonwealth Health. I talked about this last week. There are 6 hospitals in the Wilkes-Barre area. Upcoming events, September 13th is the Central Pennsylvania Association of Health Underwriters Medicare Summit. It's the first one that they've had that at least I'm aware of. It's at the Holiday Inn East. It is now $59 to register. So if you do have an interest, go ahead and register for that. I am actually the new legislative chair for the Central Pennsylvania Association of Health Underwriters. So, you know, I will be working certainly on your behalf, trying to figure out what to do at our state level and also federal level to give us some ease on this god-awful law. And that is it. Open discussion, and if you want to get your questions going, that would be great. Just while you're formulating your questions, if you are around next week, I encourage you to join in. Phil Mishler from National General will be joining us again to talk about those short-term limited duration medical insurance. So I have one question, and it's a technical issue that probably resolved itself. Well, so nobody has questions today. That's okay. Maybe everyone's tired that attended the Medicare conference yesterday. God love you. I'm sure you are. It's a lot of information. Just to mention that if you were there yesterday, thank you so much for taking that time. I know it's a really important program to us. So we had a great turnout, and you know, we thank you for that. Thank you for your support and for taking the time to learn to be that resource for your clients. So that is it. I will thank Ryan and John again, and thank everyone for joining in. As always, I wish you a great balance of the week and a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.